The first session of the day is Challenges Faced by Indian States in Educating Citizens on Financial Literacy and Digital Payments. And the session, ladies and gentlemen, will be moderated by Ms. Pritika Kumar. She's the founder, Cornellia Chambers No Grey. And the speakers for the sessions are Shri Ajeet Kesari, Additional Secretary, Finance, Government of Madhya Pradesh. A big hand to Shri Ajeet Kesari, please. Shri Vikas Rastogi, Principal Secretary, Higher and Technical Education, Government of Maharashtra. And Dr. Kamal Preet Singh, IAS, Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Government of Chhattisgarh. May I now call upon Ms. Pritika Kumar to take the session proceeding ahead. Thank you so much.
Morning everyone, I'm Pritika and I will be your host for this wonderful discussion on challenges faced by Indian states in educating citizens on financial literacy and digital payments. I personally feel that this is an extremely important topic because I feel that the whole thrust behind this Global Fintech Festival, which we are all here for, is to create financial education and financial literacy. I also see that in the present day scenario, the whole world is realizing the importance of financial literacy in how it impacts the overall well-being of the citizens of our states. Everyone is, in fact, I feel that all of the fintech solutions that are being developed today, the driver behind those solutions really is to create financial inclusion, which to my mind comes through creating financial literacy, which to my mind is also linked to financial education. And I feel extremely privileged to have been given this opportunity to host this session. And I'd also like to share with you that I'm the founder of a law firm which is committed to actually practicing law very differently. We're committed to humanizing the practice of law. And in the last 7 years of having founded this firm called Cornellia Chambers, after having done a stint at Jyoti Sagar Associates, me and my team reached a point where we realized that we need to develop a legal service operating system for India, which we have now actually launched. It's called No Grey, and our first product that we have launched, which has just gone live about a month ago, is called Will It. And it's just when I was first contacted by the organizers, I somehow realized how the timing of actually this event and the launch of our product is so connected, because I realized that by launching this Will It product, which really enables the citizens of our country to plan their future better, to create their wills in an easy way, to form trusts, to picket fence their family wealth, and also to appoint guardians. I see how this whole thing is really interconnected, and I'm really glad to be here. With this little introduction, I would like to introduce our dynamic panelists here. We have Shri Vikas Rastogi, who is the head of higher and technical education in Maharashtra. Just give me a moment. And his background is, Shri Vikas Rastogi has completed his BTech and MTech from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. He's an LLB from Mumbai University and a Master's in International Development Policy from Duke University, North Carolina, USA. It is an honor to introduce a distinguished public servant with a stellar career spanning over 2 decades. He began as an officer trainee at LSBNAA Mussoorie in 1995 and subsequently served as assistant collector in RV Wardha, Chief Executive Officer in Aurangabad, Ahmedabad Nagar, and Prabhani. His roles expanded to include Joint Commissioner of Sales Tax in Mumbai, Collector of Ratnagiri, and Joint Secretary to the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, followed by an impactful tenure as the Secretary. He also followed by an impactful tenure as Secretary. He also contributed significantly to climate resilient agriculture in Maharashtra as Project Director. His recent role as Principal Secretary in Information Technology and Chairman of Maha IT showcased his forward-thinking approach to technology for the state's betterment. Throughout his career, he has exemplified unwavering dedication and exceptional leadership in serving the people of Maharashtra. Please, sir, can you please join us? Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Kamal Preet Singh. He is IAS Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Government of Chhattisgarh. Dr. Kamal Preet Singh is the Secretary of Agriculture, Ministry of Chhattisgarh. He is an officer of the 2002 batch IAS. Dr. Singh holds an MBBS degree from the Government Medical College, Patiala. A distinguished public servant with an impressive career in Chhattisgarh, Dr. Singh has also held key positions as a director in various organizations such as the Rail Corporation and the State Industrial Development Corporation, contributing to the region's economic and social development. Notably, he served as the CEO of the State Nodal Agency for RSBY Health Insurance from Jan 2011 to November 2014, making substantial strides in healthcare accessibility. We are privileged to have someone of such expertise and dedication with us today. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to him. Next, joining us is Mr. Ajeet Kesari, IAS Additional Secretary, Finance, Madhya Pradesh. Mr. Kesari holds a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, a master's degree in thermal engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, as well as a master's in public policy from George Mason University, qualifying him as a highly knowledgeable and technically proficient professional. He is an IAS officer of the 1990 batch and holds the esteemed position of Additional Chief Secretary in the Finance Department of Madhya Pradesh. He is an accomplished civil servant who has devoted over 30 years to serving the public in Madhya Pradesh, India. Throughout his illustrious career, Mr. Kesari, apart from his current position, has held various key positions in the government of Madhya Pradesh, the Department of Cooperatives, and the Ministry of Agriculture. Mr. Kesari brings a wealth of experience and unwavering dedication to ensure efficient governance and effectively policy implementation in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Thank you for joining us, sir. So we'll spend the next 30 to 40 minutes having a conversation around what is it that financial literacy means to us all, and what are the challenges that you see the states are facing in educating our citizens about financial literacy and in effectuating digital payments. So, sir, can I please have your views on, what is it that financial literacy means to you?
Yeah. Thank you. I think financial literacy from the state's perspective is that the state is one of the biggest spenders and transferring a lot of money to the citizens of the state. And the state is generally interested in how the citizen actually spends that money well. Now that we have all moved into the digital world, the transfers in most states are digital. There are no checks being used. All money transfers are happening through bank accounts. The issues that state feel, I think, is basically on two folds. First is that the requirements of the state's transfers are very specific, and we have been trying to work out different solutions regarding, because most of the transfers of the states are conditional cash transfers. Yes. So that's one of the major things that happens in the state. Like in Madhya Pradesh, we are transferring 1,250 rupees to each women in the house using an Aadhaar-enabled payment system to 1.35 crore women every month. So just to bring that figure up, the reason is that to let people know that the quantum of transactions in the state is huge. We're not talking in small numbers. We are talking in numbers running into crores. So that is what our requirement is, first of all, for the conditional cash transfers. The second issue, as Kamal was also saying, and perhaps he'll be elaborating, is that our people face a lot of challenges in able to spend that money. And especially the point that in Madhya Pradesh we have been trying to focus upon is that we are giving the money to a particular beneficiary. In the banking system, we are not very sure who is going to use that money. The banking transfers actually take place only onto an IFSC code or a bank account number. You don't know who's the person behind the bank account. So what we are interested in as a solution is that if I'm transferring money to 1.35 crore women, she should be the one who takes a physical decision, and the decision to spend that money should not be done without her physical presence, whether it is biometric authorization or whether it is some physical presence. Right now, I'm not sure if I'm transferring the money, who in the family or which is the person even outside the family who is spending that money. So these are the two challenges that I think the government faces, and how do we educate the people? And besides educating the people, what is a technical solution that we can get which is able to ensure the objectives of the government are met?
So the remitter receiving, the intended remitter receiving the funds that are being transferred, that's the challenge that you are seeing.
Yeah, and the remitter should be able to spend the money according to her or his free will. That's not possible in today's banking system.
Right. And how do you see that happening? If you can give us like a live example, like.
See, for a conditional cash transfer, we had used NPCI's model of e-rupee.
Yes.
So I believe if NPCI does not have any other model, that was one of the first successful models of using the e-rupee transaction as a method of remitting it for a conditional cash transfer. Well, everybody was comfortable and they knew that money is being received, has been allocated for us through the e-rupee mechanism. But actually the money was transferred only when the conditions of the government were met. But for spending, I'm still looking for a solution.
Okay.
The only solution that I can have is that I put a block and the lady has to be taken to every physical shop to spend the money. Other than, I am yet to see a technical solution, and perhaps that is what my requirement would be.
And I'm sure some of us will think about
Definitely.
it. And I definitely want to come back to the e-rupee conversation because it's very interesting how you've done it in Madhya Pradesh. How about you, Mr. Rastogi? Like, what does financial literacy mean to you in your role in the government?
Thank you, Pritika. So I'm looking after higher and technical education department. So typically students in the age group of 18 to 23 years. And we have more than 4 million in the state of Maharashtra, more than 40 million in the country, which is a huge number. And these students, when they complete their degree, diploma, or post-graduation, they go for some job, start earning. Then the first thing is how do they manage their finances? Because till then they have been dependent on their parents for their day-to-day expenses, tuition fee and other things. But when they start earning on their own, I think it's extremely important for them to manage their personal finances. So that financial literacy has to start from the college itself. And I'm happy to say that more than 2/3 of our students actually have an account the day they join because of the scholarship that we are providing. So all the scholarships are again Aadhaar linked, payment through direct benefit transfer. So they do have an account, they have financial inclusion, more than 2/3 of them. But then managing the finances, personal finances, the loans, insurance, etc., that's a challenge that we have to take care of. Government of Maharashtra has taken an initiative in that. As all of us know, in a regular system of education, it's mostly classroom-based education. We have different courses which are designed to earn a degree or diploma. But these are the courses basically which are life skills. How do you manage your own finances? So with the launch of National Education Policy, now we have integrated them into the main curriculum, and these are credited courses now. So any student can enroll for a 1 or 2 credit course on personal finance. So how do personal finance, how are they to be managed, etc. So this, from the current year, we have started, we have taken an initiative, we have signed an MOU with National Stock Exchange, who are offering an online course as well as in hybrid mode, where the students can enroll, they can learn and also earn credit toward their degree. So that's a beginning we have made. We have a long way to go,
Excellent.
but I think that
Of
will
course.
will
We are thinking
help.
about it and
Yeah.
we're seeing the importance. But are you seeing enough enrollment in those courses?
This just started, and in fact, we are looking to partner with more and more fintech companies and other institutions, because as I said, 40 million student is a 4
huge
million in
number.
Maharashtra is a huge number. So there's a space for everybody.
Yes.
So what we have made is a humble beginning, but I hope in time to come there will be more and more partners who will be willing to
Definitely,
join
since
hands
we're
with us.
already thinking about it, I think we
Absolutely.
are not very far from achieving it. And we'll definitely come back to talk about how the fintech companies can actually help you in
Absolutely.
imparting financial education.
Yeah.
Sir. How about you?
The way I understand financial literacy is that everyone, every citizen of a state or a country should be able to access the financial products
Yes.
according to, his or her informed choice, and also in a easy manner
Yes.
within the four walls of the law.
Yes.
So now the way things are going, I presume almost everybody in this room would have some credit card, debit card, some app. So now, who are the people who are left out of this ecosystem? One is farmers, especially rural area population. Farmers, because they are the main economic, players in that arena.
Absolutely.
Second, I would say tribal population. We still have a lot of tribal population in many states, even in advanced state like Maharashtra. So there would be pockets of, these areas where the financial literacy, number one, and of course, closely followed by the digital payments or the digital payment ecosystem.
Yeah.
That is not marching ahead, at pace with
Understood.
the other areas of the country. So that is my understanding. Now, there are few, things. Firstly, I don't think market has created very good products, especially the private sector players have created any good products for these segments. There are no dedicated products for these segments. Even while coming here, I got a phone call for a loan, but I doubt anybody is creating product for a loan to the farmer.
But since you're working so closely with the farmers,
Yeah.
You're on ground.
Yeah.
Have you been able to think of some solution?
I have a very good solution.
Yes.
For example, we create a CIBIL score based on the payments, based on the income, this and that. Now we almost, now the whole country has a database.
Yes.
Our state also has a database.
Yes.
So we capture major financial transactions of the farmer whenever he buys or sells or some crop.
Yes.
We have his Aadhaar number, we have his account number.
Yes.
We also have the land details, in whose name the land is and where is the land.
Yes.
But I have been telling this to all the banks in my SLBC.
Yes.
None of them is even moving on the idea that there could be a solution to provide this credit access to the farmer.
They're not seeing the opportunity.
They are not, I think they are, oblivious to the market,
Yes.
that whether such a market exists or not.
Yes.
So firstly, market has to create the right kind of products for these people.
Yes. Someone has to feel the connect, I feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Secondly, we have issues, as sir also mentioned. There is this AEPS system. We
What
have
is
a
that? AEPS
Aadhaar
system?
enabled payment
Okay,
system.
okay.
So in fact, NPCI runs that, I believe.
Yes, yes.
So now that system is, linked to our this Prime Minister's crop insurance scheme. It's one of its largest scheme its kind in the world.
Yes.
When it makes a payment, it makes batch-wise payments, right? Let us say 1,000 farmers are to be paid a certain amount of money. So each farmer is allocated a certain amount of money based on the calculation of the loss. It's an insurance payment. Now, they push we are the IT superpower of the world, but we have not found solution to that problem, that even if one Aadhaar number or account is wrong, the whole
Yeah.
batch goes invalid.
Yeah.
So with so much of AI, can we find these simple solutions to these simple problems?
Yeah, yeah.
So that is why what I want to highlight.
I'm sure there are people thinking about it in the entrepreneurial circles. I think now that we're talking about it, hopefully the message will reach them. And I think sometimes the problems that such entrepreneurial mindsets face is funding, because developing these solutions take time and take like very competent tech teams. So we're here, maybe there is someone in the audience who may have a question that they may want to ask our panelists around their thoughts on financial literacy. Is there anyone? Yes. Can I please pass the mic on? Or perhaps you could. Yes, yes.
Firstly, it's fantastic to see such reputed people sitting on the stage and the background, what they told in the beginning is fantastic. Country is in safe hands.
That's true.
Shri, Kesari, I want to ask you that what is the number of payments that that actually is made to those beneficiaries in your state?
1.35 crores every month.
1.35 crore individuals.
Individual transfer.
Individual transactions. So we all know that all three of you, the common underlying fact is that there is a huge population who doesn't even know that it's coming to my bank, and you want to ensure that they know it's coming to their bank and who is spending. Many times the old and the uneducated rely on their relatives or the somebody or their friends to do that, the remaining of the part, like spending and so. Is there a way somewhere, even that number is very large, but there is also a very large population of young people who are already adept on this, on phone and apps and digital literacy. Some way can we make a pool of volunteers that one volunteer in that village looks after, let's say, 30 uneducated people, just 30, that's all. So like once a day he goes to one person, checks out his bank account and helps them, give them, or probably give them a printout or explains to them this is the transaction that has happened and ensure that they are able to use it. So this was the idea. It has been in my mind for quite a long time. Is it workable at the state level? Because at the central level, when you discuss this, the number goes many times and then who takes the responsibility? But at the state level, is it possible to create such a thing, or has this idea come across?
See, many states have created such structures where they have created village level volunteers.
Yeah.
The idea has developed, and perhaps the banking correspondent idea was also to that extent. IRDA has been trying out a Bima Vahak concept of similar concept on one individual being responsible for one village or one panchayat.
Yeah.
So that does work, but and that has helped. So it's a workable model. It's only that how does he make his livelihood out of that is what needs to be seen. And perhaps most states have different models. Madhya Pradesh might have a volunteer model, Andhra Pradesh might have a different model. So a technology platform definitely could help in that case. But the major concern again with the government is that, see, it's the right beneficiary who needs to take a call. It's not an assistance that we are looking for. We actually, like everybody has mentioned, that is my actual, see, if I am giving a money to a women beneficiary, the reason behind is not to give her a cash. The reason behind it is to empower the lady of the house to take a decision. So people in the household should realize that the money has gone to her and she is going to take the call on what to spend. Unless I am looking for an authorization which actually only allows her to spend the money. No, there's no banking system which allows me to do that. I can't block a bank account and say that it is only the beneficiary's thumb impression that will allow the money to be spent. But RBI does not allow me to do that.
That would
so I'm asking the RBI to change their model. And so unless I do that, how does that lady get empowered?
But that's really too deep a question. Family values, how sons treat their mothers and all that, it's a very deep thing. But meanwhile, are you using the network of CECs, those CSCs?
Yes, we are using most networks. So perhaps some kind of a model needs to be given, or a platform needs to be tried out that yes, this kind of a service is being given. People are available, let me assure you. The governments would be willing to try these things out.
So I want to ask the remaining
Yeah.
two, how successful is the using those CSCs? Are they responsive, or where do you think they lack?
Actually, there is a scheme called PMG Disha, PM Gramin Digital Saksharta Mission,
Yes.
wherein every state has given huge target. It's a digital literacy campaign for somebody who is digitally illiterate, at least one in each family, and through CSCs. It's a 20-hour program. Physically, you have to go to CSC and learn it there, and then you get a certificate after assessment. So it includes accessing internet, doing digital transaction, etc., learning the basics of a smartphone, etc. The idea is to introduce a little bit of financial literacy, Aadhaar-enabled payment system, etc. And this, I think, has huge potential. In Maharashtra, more than 42 lakh individuals have benefited from it. But it's, I think, for the fintech company now to use that opportunity, because there's a huge population which has benefited from it. They have got some basics. Now, the financial sector has to leverage that opportunity, I guess.
Thank you very much, sir, for the answers. Very quickly, I'll share my input on this. No company will come forward where there is no money. I'm personally working in the field of citizen mobile security, working for last 7 years. Nobody comes up where there's no money to come. So we should not expect fintech or any other companies to come. Can I take out money from my pocket and give it to you? If that is true, then there will be business models coming out of it. Otherwise, it will not. It will be only in the hands of capable people like you. Thank you very much.
No, let me just clarify the last point that you made. See, government is willing to pay.
Yeah.
There's not that government is not willing to pay
Okay.
and is expecting a charity out of a fintech company. It's actually the model that we are looking for.
Okay.
And if you have a model that works, see, if I pay 300,000 crores out in a year, it doesn't make a difference to me if I add another 1,000 crores of transaction cost to it. As a government, we realize that. See, I run the finances of the state. My state budget is 3,25,000 crores. So I know I can spend another 1,000 crores for transaction related charges. I can even spend 5% of that. The issue is whether we have a model that is relevant and is adaptable by the government.
So
The point that we are only trying to make it is that the government is a slightly different creature as compared to the business markets. Let us work together. Let us understand what the government wants. Perhaps your product needs to be tweaked for the government to be used to make it relevant to the government. See, many people in the government, you are here meeting 3 people. 2 of us have IT degrees and one has a master's, is an MBBS doctor. So we are at, perhaps if you go down into the government, there will be many people who would not even be able to appreciate what you are saying and what we need. So it's the right connection that has to be made at a particular level of decision making in the government. Perhaps it's not a very easy thing, I understand.
No, but you just mentioned
but
that.
I think I think we'll give others a chance.
No, if
you made your point.
No, if you made.
But we couldn't get your name actually.
I'm Satyendra Verma. I'm working on citizen mobile security. But the last part you just mentioned that you are ready to contribute. I think then you'll have tons of questions now. Thanks.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think there's great business opportunity here. We all need to start seeing the government as a partner and think more about the public-private partnership model. I'm already thinking about it for my product. Before I take more questions, I'd like Sir to talk about the e-rupee model that you have been able to introduce in Madhya Pradesh, sir. And what were the challenges?
So I'll definitely see, I'll not talk much about the model, but I'll talk about, see, and this is an example why I would say is that perhaps how we need to work together. See, NPCI has a product of e-rupee. We wanted to use it for a conditional cash transfer for giving subsidies in agriculture equipment. So we typically give a subsidy of 40,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, even going up to 10 lakh rupees to a particular beneficiary who adopts and who buys certain agriculture equipment. So my condition is that I will only release the money to the dealer once the equipment has been delivered to my beneficiary and it is physically at his house. But also I don't want to trouble the dealer that he has to face the uncertainty of a government inspection and wait for an inspection and then his money to be released months later. So with the help of NPCI, we built a mechanism where we issue an e-rupee voucher to the beneficiary. So the beneficiary goes to the dealer scans the voucher, but the payment is not done at that moment. The payment is a deferred payment, which is done when the physical inspection is completed within a physical time period given, a week or so. Now the challenges in this is, NPCI has 2 servers looking after e-rupee. So you need to connect to each server individually. We realized that later on. Okay. There are various conditionalities that come into play. There was no mechanism for a deferred payment in the e-rupee model, making it not relevant for the government when I want to make a conditional cash transfer. So that had to be built afresh. NPCI had to raise its limit from 10,000 rupees to a lakh of rupees. That also took its own time. So there are different challenges. Banking system does not have a mechanism to read those coupons. You only need a smartphone mechanism to read those issues. So they are different. While most people in the rural areas might not have a smartphone, they are getting an e-rupee through an SMS, which is a standard model for NPCI. So you need to work around, find solutions. So we found a solution for everything. So there were 4 parties involved: NPCI, ICICI Bank, Pine Labs, because their machines were being used, the government. So everything has to be brought together. All those platforms have to be merged on an API basis. So that takes a lot of effort, that takes a lot of understanding. So somebody has to put in that effort. That's the only point that I think most people would have, they will have their experience to share for similar products. Yeah.
E-rupee, NPCI representative came to me. I only asked one question. What happens to the interest amount? Because we have given you money now and the farmer draws it 5 months later. There is a time value of money. Where is that value going? So you share that value. No, so we want a share of that value. Yes. Or we make the people compete for that.
There's one solution that I'm seeing as an entrepreneur myself here. A lot of these problems that the government is facing in implementing solutions for our people are not being put out there for younger people who are truly committed to the idea of India to actually solve. I think it would be a great idea if we're able to come up with some kind of a dashboard where the government puts out the tech problems that it wants help with solving.
The governments can help by offering their, data in a, I would say, anonymized way, whatever it is called. Like, not person-specific data.
Yes.
Governments have a lot of financial data.
Yes.
And,
but here I'm not thinking about financial data. I'm thinking about the solutions that you are looking for from the private sector. Maybe some of the larger private sector entities may not be interested in coming forward to solve these problems, but the younger companies, who are more energized right now to solve problems in India, I feel they will come forward. They come forward.
Pritika, in Maharashtra, we have a State Innovation Society, which organizes hackathon for fintech and all startups. So every year, different departments share their problem statement. What are the issues they want technology to solve? And there is a 3-level scrutiny process. At the end of it, 24 startups are selected for different sectors. It could be rural development, agriculture, health, etc., etc. And they work with the government department. They are also given seed money of 15 lakh rupees. So they work on the real problem which departments are facing. And then they, within a period of 6 months or 8 months, they come up with some solution which can then be scaled up. So in the last 4 to 5 years, many such innovations have taken place, where startups have provided solutions based on the requirements.
Right, and this is more for Maharashtra.
This is for Maharashtra, yeah. This is Maharashtra.
Maharashtra is institutionalized. We are lagging behind. We are not working in an institutionalized way. But I think we do have the similar mechanism. Most states have those mechanisms. There are various sectors perhaps the spread needs to be sent to various people.
Yes.
And I think there's a gentleman who's been standing there.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the such useful insights. My question is pertaining to on the similar lines only, like what you said about e-rupee. We are mostly into microfinance kind of lending mechanism, wherein we understand the pain point of the those women who are unable to pay. Having said that, 75% or more is the mobile penetration in the rural areas. Still, many of them are using feature phones, especially women. So, is there any mechanism besides e-rupee that you have mentioned that the government has worked out by which they can make the payment or payment of the loans that they have taken through their feature phone? Any such sort of idea that the government is working on to make it streamlined, the repayment of loans and all?
So let me, I think our time's already up, so if they permit me, I'll just end the discussion with two things. We are looking for a solution. That's why we are here. If we had a solution, we wouldn't have been here. That's the first point. The second point is, see, there are certain constraints with the government that one needs to keep in mind. Besides that, the government is willing to pay. See, the government cannot exclude anybody because most of the schemes that we run has to be inclusive, and it cannot be on some technology, we cannot exclude people. We can't put in conditions for them. So I think most states have a mechanism, might be existing, and I think this platform would be a relevant platform for somebody to actually kind of try to list out these things for us. And we would also have now realized, so perhaps we would also try to do that. So I think anything else?
I think most of the schemes of the government are, especially the social sector schemes, they are focused on the bottom rung of the ladder. So whether it is urban slum or extreme remote area or, very deprived sections in the rural areas, so invariably then they run into these issues, access issue, the access to a smartphone, access to internet. And then thirdly, the confidence that they can use these, apps, because there is no prior familiarity.
Right.
So especially certain age groups, there is no prior familiarity. Children may be in fact more familiar to using of these financial apps, teenagers, rather than let us say a 50-year-old person who needs to transact using these apps.
Yes.
So, but feature phone would, I think, soon be it's already, I'm seeing very little feature phones whenever I go to the village. Very few people have. So if you want to invest in a, device which is going out of fashion or just, I don't know if anybody makes them now. So sooner or later, the mass market or the money will come from the, the app-based solution only. So feature phones, maybe few, 1 or 2%, 4%, not more than that.
Right, right. So this has been a wonderful discussion. I would have loved to carry on. I have a lot of more questions, but I hope to maybe move this into the next chapter of the Global Fintech Festival. And I wish you all the best, sir. And I wish that there are people in the audience who take the message out and we come up with solutions for the problems that we are facing in creating financial literacy and enabling digital payments in all of India. Thank you so much.